Hey guys, Monolith Gaming here. I kind of want to go over the trailer for Death Stranding because it has my mind boggled. There's so much mystery just looming around this game, and it's got Norman Reedus and Mads Mikkelsen in it. I'm sold, but it's obviously a survival horror game. It's in this post-apocalyptic kind of future. It's really trippy. If you haven't seen the trailer, stop this video, go watch the trailer, and come back because there's some things I want to touch on that I want you to see firsthand before you even hear my ideas about it. Now, what is crazy about this is even within the context of the trailer, what they're trying to live through, what they're trying to escape, what they're trying to get away from is a complete mystery. It doesn't even seem like they really know too much about them. Now, there are a few things I want to touch on. We don't really know what these creatures do to humans or do to people. We do know that whatever it is, no matter how much you want to survive, you would rather die than be captured. You'll see that multiple times within this same trailer, that they would rather just be dead. Now, we're going to stumble across a body right here, real fast. Don't know what's wrong with it. Looks like it's got some deterioration or maybe some fungal growth on the face. It's also bagged up, so it could have been a corpse already. There's no way of knowing. Now, one thing I want y'all to pay attention to is when the creatures do start coming, Norman, or whatever your boy's name is in the game, tells them not to even breathe. After which, you see handprints just slap on the vehicle that the guy's crushed under. I mean, this guy's dead one way or the other. But what's interesting about that is you do see the figure later, and I'll get more into that, but the handprints are something I want y'all to really pay attention to. Because whatever it is that's doing it, initially I thought maybe these things have multiple hands, multiple arms, but when you see the figure, it's not like that at all. Instead, it looks almost humanesque, just really tall. But the big piece that I want y'all to see here is this thing gets really close to this person, both of these people, and completely ignores the technology. It makes no motion, no notion, no acknowledgement to the light fixture that's just flipping out. And that would drive me nuts if I'm trying to survive from something sneaking up on me and hunting me. This light is going to get me killed, dude. I would freak out from that. But no, doesn't acknowledge it at all. Not even in the slightest bit. It's as if it's not even there. Now, something's going to happen to this body. We don't even know if it's because of the creatures or if it's just because of something that was already wrong with the body. There's no hints, no nothing towards it. And there's just so much mystery just bouncing back and forth about this. It just deteriorates, sinks into the ground, and fades away. Obviously, that's not normal. That even for whatever it is that was supposed to be in that, it's not normal. You can tell by their reactions. That's not normal. Now, here's the thing that I want to show y'all. Look at this. That is just a tall figure. And in order to do that, it has to lean down and put its hands on the ground and lurch towards him. Now, when it does that, you see steam rise off of that piece. Is it because it was a little bit deeper in the water? I don't know. In addition to that, he covers his mouth again. So is it smelling their breath? Is it just filling them off of the air or the chemicals that humans actually put out when we do breathe? There's no way to know. Then this happens. Now we have a completely different type of creature that's pulling them from underneath the ground. It actually pulled this man out from underneath that vehicle without severing any limbs. Watch this. No limbs are severed. He even has control of his legs, meaning that they pulled him out without doing any additional harm, and once he's dead, they have no care for him. Again, another thing, the survival instinct kicks in. And this gentleman, we have no idea who he is, but he floated down. That's a key point. He floated down. It's not shown that humans can normally do that, just float down, even within this trailer. And you'll see here shortly, in a few minutes, how Norman reacts to seeing humans float. It's kind of reminiscent of We All Float too. Granted, I'm sure the two universes obviously have nothing to do with each other. I don't even think it's actually a callback to it or anything like that. Again, with these creatures that look more humanesque than the shadowy figures that were surrounding them. It just looks like deceased humans clawing at them. He tries to take his own life because he'd rather be dead than face whatever it is that's going on. You have to realize how insane that is, the amount of desperation you would have to rather die than deal with what's about to happen. This man even stabs himself repeatedly just to die before he gets to whatever it is that's going to happen to him. For all we know, he could be turned into those creatures that were coming out of the ground. We don't know yet. It's mind-boggling. Now, what threw me off was the fact that he actually threw that baby into the muck where the creatures were that were pulling him. Here's another thing. It references the big explosion that created the universe. And when I first saw this, I'm actually going to pause this real quick. When I first saw this, I thought to the left, or yeah, to my left, to the actual video's right, that arm right there, I thought that was a hand holding strands. It's actually veins, if you will, coming out of the arm and into the ground. So it's connected to the earth, or wherever it is that they are, whatever planet it is that they are on. It is connected to it. While it is pulling, it's getting its own gravitational pull. It's sucking all of these creatures up, all of this debris up, and pulling it into itself. And it generates that other explosion that he was referencing earlier. It's crazy because it makes me wonder if you are going to, and see the guy that was stabbing himself gets pulled in, then the explosion happens. We still don't know what it is that that does to him. We don't. Now, it makes me wonder if we'll pause this real quick again. It makes me wonder if that explosion that just happened, that is referenced earlier and is referenced later again in the trailer, is something that happens frequently throughout the game, or if it's something specifically for lore. If when you're playing the game, when it is released, obviously, of course, these are all theories, nothing confirmed. But when you're playing the game, you have to do something within a certain amount of time before one of these creatures, these celestial-like beings, it seems, if you will, just bear with me on that, again, just theories. If you have to do something before they make one of these explosions happen. Now, the following scene, part of this trailer, the following cinematic part of this trailer, is extremely trippy. Now he is completely without clothes. It's as if he was just blown out of his suit. He's floating in water. We don't even know where this much water came from. Now, we did see that these creatures came out from the muck of the earth, or whatever planet, again, it is, the soil. They came out, these hands were gripping, they were pulling, they were trying to yank. And as we see here, there are people underneath this ocean, this massive ocean that just spawned out of nowhere. Now we have this creature who does have, it looks like, multiple hands, so it could, in fact, be one of the creatures that was just slapping its hands on the ground. But based on what we saw moments ago, that's not the case. Those tall creatures just lean down and get really close to you. And you can only see them in the fog, as weird as that is. Now we see him again with all his gear on under the water. Now, I think that this was all big hallucination caused by the explosion, especially this next scene. The baby, we go into his body, then it shows the baby. Yeah, nice thumbs up. Then he comes back out, dry land completely. Now, here's something to note. He's not wet. He's not wet at all. His suit's not wet, his hair's not wet, his face isn't wet. No textures of moisture at all. Another reason why I think that entire part was just a hallucination caused by the explosion. Obviously, the explosion had some physical effect on him. It threw him. I'm pretty positive. I'm sure it tossed him. But there's no signs anyway that he was actually underwater. Now, as it continues, he's going to actually vomit some of these maggots that I'm guessing are part of the creatures. It's about to happen right here. When he does, they float up too. So whatever is part of this creature, whatever is part of these beings, or that it's trying to lure, it takes up. It pulls up with it. Now, he's about to look out and see all these bodies of all these other humans just floating without any expression changing. He cries. There is so much just desperation in this trailer alone that it is baffling. Now, here's the kicker. I don't know if these bodies that are floating are actually humans that were being taken, or if they're the creatures that are part of it, or if they're like the guy that floated down to try and help them and pointed it a certain way for them to go, and they didn't even listen. They didn't adhere to it. They didn't really acknowledge what he was saying. They just kind of looked around. Something that was pointed out before, too, as well, by a friend of mine, is that they don't show the baby inside the little container again. The trailer's actually about to end. You won't see it again. And they were saying that the explosion could have fused the baby with him as well. So the baby being inside of him was actually like a real thing. But I'm not too sure about that. But now we have this big crater. I'm assuming that he was down there, and then the explosion happened, and it knocked his body away up. Now, it's kind of hard to say that that's in stone what happened, and this could just be like kind of a a mock-up trailer, not a full-on lore kind of trailer, because I don't know if his body would be able to survive being tossed like that. That would be an insane throw, and there was no signs on his clothing or on his gear that he was tossed. Nothing was messed up. That light fixture doesn't seem too stable. It seems kind of frail. So I'm not sure about that either. Now, those are my theories about this Death Stranding game that's coming out. I am really interested in hearing what you guys have to say. So drop some theories in the comments. Let's go back and forth. Let's talk about this. I don't know how many more of these videos I'm going to do, but guys, this is pretty great. I can't wait for this to come out. I think the coming year for PlayStation is going to be amazing. I hope to see you guys there. Anyway, get a good Joe-ho-ho in your life. Again, let me know what you guys think about the trailer. Let me know what's going on in your heads. Until then, I'll catch you later. Have a good day, morning, noon, or night. Whatever it is, get some coffee in your life, and I promise you, it'll be better.